Right, hi everybody, I'm back at last. I've just come home a few hours ago after 9 days in the local hospital. 9 days ago I was sitting where I am now, feeling a bit sick, and the other half got me a bowl, and I'm never sick even when I used to drink a lot. Next minute I'm vomiting. I vomited black blood. It looked like car oil, like, you know, it even stained one of my fingers. So the other half was on, to local hospital 999. Paramedics came down, got me into the ambulance. On the way there, the same thing again. Put a load of blood up. Gets into the A&E, and oh God, you're there for ages. The doctor sees you, and then they say something else. It's all something else, and then they do something different. So anyway, as far as I remember, because it's knocked my memory up a bit, I sort of knew where I was. I knew I was in hospital. The other half was there, followed up in the van. She's feeling worse than me now. She's not well. I feel like I've got the flu. Good, innit? I've just come home. So I'll see you later then, baby. Yeah? You be careful. So I don't know how long I was there for, about 5 hours. So they take me up to a ward. This is DBH, down at Valley Hospital. They take me up. Good night, babe. They take me up to a ward. Straight away, I'm having a blood transfusion. It turns out that the red blood cells are very low. I'm so confused then. I'm thinking, low cells, that's leukemia, innit? And I remember thinking, no, that's white blood cells. So they've got me on here, and for some reason, I couldn't look up much further than that. I had no glasses on. So I've got this blood transfusion. They've got me on what they call a insulin slide control. That's the insulin pumping in you all the time because I'm diabetic. Saline. What's the other thing now? I'm on it now just because it needs boosting. Oh, I forgot. Sodium bicarbonate. Then that was a bit low, which kept me in hospital an extra 2 days. Anyway, they got a doctor. I don't remember if they got the doctor or not. It's so confusing, like, because my memory is all over the place. What else was it? Well, mainly it was because the red blood cells was a low count, which apparently was why I was feeling like that. But they said I was having a stomach bleed, and I'm wondering whether it was because a couple of weeks before, if you remember, I'd had an accident with my mobility scooter and it rolled on top of me, and it might have took all that time. Anyway, by the next day, I'd started feeling better because this blood transfusion was working. They keep coming round because all through the night you get what's known as OBS, blood pressure and the rest of it, and blood tests. Well, it is murder trying to get blood out of my arms or anything else because I've got squiggly veins. I've got bruises all up my arms. It even made me hands swell. One bloke, doctor, he spent all night trying to get blood out. Oh, the pain I was in. But in the end, I couldn't feel the pain after about 3 days of that. So that carried on. Then they took the blood transfusion off. It was what they call a three bag transfusion. And all the other stuff they called intrusion, and it's different than when I worked in hospitals, different words and God knows what else. So that carried on. So I was having these OBS all day, apart from the finger pricking one that I do myself anyway. When I went in, the sugar was 28.4, Well, the non-diabetic's between 4 and 7 point. Well, that didn't help. So this is why I was on this. I think I've got my eyes closed all the time, and I feel shattered now. So that was, beginning to work. They got it right down, and then it would go down to 6, and have something else. I wasn't eating that much. Bloody good meals out in it. It's more like a hotel when I got going. Unbelievable. So suddenly the sugar would shoot up to about 18, and about 6. No, don't die. I'm serious. And then it would shoot back down to about 4 point, and they had to keep balancing it, putting more glucose in the drip to counter it, and it would go the other way. Off came that, and more insulin would go like that, and it's carried on for about 2 or 3 days. So meanwhile, I'm getting no sleep, because even through the night, every 2 hours, they're doing these observations. I had that years ago at Thomas's when they did them couple of amputations off me feet. So on the 4th day, they decided to move me to another ward, a gastric ward, because they couldn't find where it's bleeding. They said it's still bleeding, but we can't find why. So then I had the camera test. Oh, that's the camera they put down your throat. You try not to cough. That was horrible. It was only about 4 or 5 minutes, but boy, that proved negative. They couldn't find anything. So I take so many tablets, and I think that's a lot to do with it as well. All I'm taking at this moment is 2 of these a day, and that's all. Because I've got tons of tablets, and it looks like a combination of them. They took me off aspirin, which thins the blood, which is why I was always cold. So they got that sort of stuff. And I go to this other ward, fabulous ward. The nurses were fantastic. I really told me bought some chocolates when we left today. Give them to the girls on the way out, but they were absolutely brilliant. Laughing and joking, and one really took to me like, I got a cuddle off before I went home. Because she's been through the mill, and I love sensible women to talk to. I can't stand talk to stupid women like. Anyway, it's bad enough me being stupid. So anyway, that's started. I'm still having drips, obs. What else did they do? So meanwhile, they still can't find out, why I'm losing blood. I was losing blood, but they couldn't find nothing. Which that can mean like you've got cancer or something, you're losing blood and you can't find what it is. My ex-father-in-law was like that. And he was only 59 when he died. He was believing they couldn't find it. It turned out cancer, didn't it? Always smoking and that, but still. So that went on. And what else after that? So, as I say, the main thing there is boredom. I lived on the radio that they had there, on Radio 4 and the World Service, and then the fiasco with that pervert Donald Trump and Hillary, so I stayed up all night anyway and listened to that. That was entertaining, but frightening. Imagine that, the most powerful man in the world, if he ever gets it. I don't think so. He shot himself in the foot, hasn't he? After the disgusting things he said about women. Anyway, so I listened to that. So every night I was listening to the radio. The boredom's the main thing, because I couldn't sleep, because they're coming around every 2 hours. Blood test, changing stuff, and this went on and on. Then they said, give the impression he was going to leave the next day. No. And then the same again the next day. And I said, but they gave me the impression I was going home. Oh, no, you've got something called acid thing in the blood. That wasn't going properly. He's thinking, I'll be here Christmas, because you lose all sense of time. I mean, anybody who's been in there as an inpatient knows that, So all I had was fluids. So I am now swollen up like a football, fluids, like before when I was on that fusamide. Well, I'm not on it now. I don't know whether I can get this down. I bloody hate it. But they've sent a letter to my doctor You generally get a copy of that, didn't you? So I don't know what they're putting in there, because I said to the other, I said, I'm not going back in hospital like I did before and had the fusamide pumping in me all the time. I can't say I top myself, I've had enough. And what with all the blood, you know, all the blood tests and that. So, as I say, I started feeling good, and then when you start feeling better, that's when you get bored and fed up and just want to go home. You know, it's all right when you're all laying there half out your head, you just don't give a monkey's. Anyway, I couldn't wash, not properly, because I had wires all in me, so I started ponging. Oh, God. Couldn't shower. I could do my teeth. Sort of wash on my head. Couldn't put soap on my hands, really, because it went all over the wires, and I had to change them, and there was more needles sticking in my hands in. Oh. They were swollen like football. They've gone down now. So this carried on, and then I was getting the impression I was going home again. And they said there's still something wrong with the blood. And I thought, oh, for God's sake. Now, your kidneys, they said, weren't working properly, but they're beginning to, like, you know. So this is probably why, hopefully, is why I was swollen up. And then the last 3 or 4 days, oh, God, I was peeing gallons. Oh, God. I was no sooner filled, because you had to fill bottles up because they measure the volume, like, you know. Don't know what it tells them. And so I don't know whether that's helped. You know, the other half said you're not as big as before, because I said I swelled up to 18, 19 stone before of water, and that water weighs a hell of a lot. So I've had a shower and all that, because I was rank when I come home. Really, I could smell it and smell like vinegar. It was horrible. I feel all right now, but now I feel as though I've got the flu, which I probably haven't. It's probably, I had so much stuff done in such a short time, and the only thing is, though, I'm saying the food was excellent. Oh God, mine I've cut right down. I don't have toast with anything on it. I don't have coffee anymore. I don't have tea with any sweeteners in. It's given me a complex now. I can't even have one paracetamol. You know, because if it is them, like one side effect against another, could have been what caused it. But there's so many things, like, you know. Because when I did that scooter thing, it didn't bother me at all. So one of the nurses said it could be a trauma. Excuse me, I'm getting thirsty now. And it could have been that, but I think it's a combination thing. Anyway, it got to yesterday, and I said, so she'd like you to stay one more day. I said, oh, you're joking, aren't you? Anyway, I'll go over that. And so I had a few more tests than that today, and it felt like I was going home, and it was. I waited, it was about 5 o'clock they came in or 1700, and I said, yeah, your bloods are all right now. So, of course, rung the other half, and she come and pick me up. And so I feel worse now, because it's just like I've had the flu. Showering does that to me sometimes. I've hardly slept for 9 days, and I don't want to go to bed. I just don't feel like it. I've got a load of stuff I need to catch up with. So I don't know, I might sleep tomorrow. I might go to bed about 4 o'clock or something. As I say, the other half's gone to bed. She's not feeling at all. She's done too much. I knew she would. You know, like women, like she even though she's disabled, she works far too hard. But even when I'm here, I can't stop her. Never mind when I'm miles away. So that's it, really. I had about 60 odd emails. Half of them were promos, you know. So that was sort of like, I knew that would be, you know. You don't ask for it, but you get the junk mail, don't you? So I binned all them. I'm still catching up with YouTube. There are loads of YouTube stuff on there. Excuse me, here we go again. So hopefully now, the only thing that's bothering me is this bleeding fluids, like, you know. But the other half said I'm nowhere near as big as I was before with it. So I'll have to find out, you know, I'll wait and find out what's going to happen there. But as far as I remember, I might have said it anyway. They send a letter to your GP, and they send you a copy of it as well. And also, all I'm doing is taking these one tablets. I mean, well, I won't get it out, but I've got a whole plastic box full of tablets because I get mine once a month, and it's like that and about that deep and wide. And when they first saw it, even the paramedics, they said, all these tablets, that can't be right. And they said the same there anyway. They scrapped them all there, threw them all away there. The only thing they didn't change was my insulin. I've got glaucoma in my eye, and I always take drops, and it wasn't until the other eye came in 2 nights ago, and suddenly mine, I hadn't took any, and it seemed all right. So there was one in there, the nurse got it out of me, but there's not a lot in there, but there might be some in our fridge. Every time we've gone to Cinnamon home, we forget every time to check if there's any there. You know, otherwise they start going black and the pressure builds up and you can't go blind with it, but you know, that's not too bad. So all I'm doing is taking 2 of these tablets, these sodium ones. And so my sugar is now unbelievable. My sugar's always been unstable. I'm back to taking the usual units myself, 21. The most it goes up now depends. I mean, I don't eat. I'm changing the whole style. Is about 8, which is within range of about, you know, I don't like it going 10. Most times now it's about 7 something. Well, normally, if I had a reading of 7 point something, I was on my way to a hypo. That's when you can be in a, what you call it, coma and that, and pop your clogs, like, you know. But it turns out, not trying to dramatise it too much, but it was touch and go. And the other half thought that was it. I was on my way out, you know. And of course, it don't bother you when you're ill. But 3 days later, I realised, you know, I could have snuffed it. You know, it hasn't affected me heart or anything like that. I mean, I've got heart failure, but not an actual heart. It's electric side. Things I found out that people had told me before, and it was nothing to do. It wasn't true. So that's about it. I see Lucky's made loads of stuff, but I haven't commented. It's too much, and I'm not out of the woods yet. I just like Bry. I saw his last few videos, and I just can't. I don't know. I just can't get it together. You know, I just can't push myself at the moment. I'm just not well. I couldn't walk that much because of lack of exercise, but I've got that back a bit. But I'm still a bit dodgy on the old pins. I don't feel like driving my mobility scooter. I know it's only 4 miles an hour, but I just don't want to know. I probably won't go out Tuesday next week. People I know, they know that I'm in here. The fellas down the club and the ones down the cafe, because Jen see a couple of them, so they know. Like first day I'm there, I don't remember. I dropped my mobile flat on the walled floor, shattered the glass. Well, it was working. Now all of a sudden, you charge it up, and like within a couple of hours, it's down to something like 19. So it was due to be updated anyway. So when I can go out to O2, I'll get an update. But it don't bother me, phones. My hobby in that is computers. Phones don't bother me at all. I'm bloody coughing now. I've been all right in there. I see Bishop's World, CM. He's done quite a few things like Lucky does, hangouts. I'm surprised, unless, you know, I skimmed through them all. I'm surprised he didn't seem to get anybody at all. Now, I thought if anybody would get people coming in, because he's such an interesting man and the stuff he knows, you know, I thought it would be him. As far as I know, nobody's got on there, on the live stream, that's it. You know, and I thought he, first person like to go, you know, he's such an interesting bloke. So, yeah, I'll do your bloody hair file there. Oh, well, I'll look for you later. yeah, so that's the state of play at the moment. And Christ knows, how long is this video? 20 minutes? That is long for me now, but, you know, I just thought I would explain, because I didn't know if anyone would think, well, where's he gone? Is he gone off? Because as far as I can see, Hobo Bill didn't come back since I was off. No, Zara, stop it. I'm not mucking about. And I thought they might think I'm doing that, like, you know. But, well, so that's where I've been for the last 9 days. And the Wi-Fi signal was terrible anyway there before me mobile clonked out. I was watching YouTube and that was it, suddenly nothing. You know, the rest of it worked, and then, as I say, I think it's broke altogether now. I just have to use the home phone here. Lucky enough, the TV, it's not a proper TV, but you've got phone radio and stuff on it. There's a phone on it, and you can use that. It's free if you only if you phone a landline. So I was all right there. I couldn't phone anyone else I know you know, on my mobile. And I don't know any of their numbers because you don't this day. You just press a button, don't you? So I is going off now. I hope Bishop's CM. I hope your leg's getting better, because it was broke, wasn't it, before I went. And the beard does suit you. So I'm going off now, and this is over and out. I don't feel so bad now, funny enough. I felt awful a little while ago. What is it? Oh, it's actually the next day now. It's 12:25 at night, so I might go to bed later and I might not. So, thanks anybody, and you know, if you don't want to see all this, I don't blame you. It's probably boring, but I just thought I'd say where I've been. Oh. So that's it. So over and out, without a doubt, and all that. I hope everybody is feeling all right. Oh, for God's sake! I haven't had a cough at all in the hospital. I'll go now before I break out into any more coughs. So catch all you people later on, and bye for now. Thank God.